Hi, in this video I'm going to show you some classic yoga postures or the techniques that can actually help you improve strength, flexibility, mobility of course, in your shoulder joint. All the muscles around this area, your shoulder, your neck, can be stimulated and increase the circulation in this particular joint. This is a fantastic technique, especially if you play sports that requires throwing all the time. Okay, so anything that is throwing, overhead movements, hitting, all of that can really affect your flexibility and dislocate sometimes your shoulder. It also overpulls your shoulder blades sometimes, and that makes your shoulders kind of round forward too much. So we're going to learn these techniques, very basic, very simple again, to actually build the awareness in between your shoulder, shoulder blade, spine, and your chest area. So all that together. Okay, let's get started. So, to do this particular technique, first you could just stand upright. We'll do it in this position, then we will do it in a more squat position. So, this is a simple technique I was mentioning. You have your hand crossed, okay? So you're going to cross your right elbow on top of the left, and then once you cross your elbow, make sure you do not turn your palms, but just like that, and make sure both your palms come towards each other. This is your technique. So if you're looking sideways, my palms are facing kind of each other while my right elbow is crossed over the left. Then we hold this position. Now the most important part is some of you may not be able to get there here, but that's why you have to force yourself. And when you do that, it's also a very good technique for your tennis elbow. It helps you open up your forearm. Now notice that my left hand that's coming from behind, coming right inside here. So we are actually pressing both palms against each other. This is the first technique. Now from here, I want you to lift your elbows up nice and high, and then bring your elbows down. See, it's very simple. Again, you just lift your elbows up, and then bring your elbows down. We repeat that for about 10 times, both sides. I'll give you the side view here. So you lift up and down, right? And up and down. Now while you do this technique, make sure your head is straight, your buttocks are tight, your abs are connected, and then making sure that all the movements happening right at your shoulder, and you just move up and down. It's a great technique also for very, kind of a pain in your neck, or if you're straining your neck while you're sitting in front of a computer. This can help you release the tension, but mainly for all tennis player especially, okay? Now I'm going to switch my hand. Now left hand goes on the top, and then wrap your hands around like this. Again, same movement, we go up and down. Now notice that none of my other body parts are actually moving. I'm purely working from my shoulder, and I extend my hand up, and then I pull down close into my rib cage, and then up and down like that. It goes up and it goes down, right? So that's about 10 times, and you do it both ways for 10 each. The next technique is, again, stand with your feet separate. So you understand that technique, right? 10 both sides. In the next one, you will raise one hand up and take the other hand back and clasp your hands and fingers, just like that. And then you switch. It goes back and forth. Now, notice sometimes you may not even be able to catch your finger, but that's not the point. The point is that you move. You try to move, and see how my right hand, right palm need to turn in, and like this. If you can clasp, go ahead, but if not, you're just moving to get there. Some of you might just get stuck here, and that's okay. The whole purpose of this is to create the movement. And right there, right? So if you can reach, go for it and clasp. So this will be for about 10 times that you perform, both ways, 10 times. Okay, and that's it, right? These are the two exercises that I was mentioning you are too simple to perform. Now we can intensify with the leg and include some back movement. Okay, so to do this, let's separate your feet wider like this. And you will be kind of squatting in this position, keeping your knees wide like this. And no perfect position for your leg, but just so that you can stabilize yourself, right? This is not a good position to stand into. So keep your shin vertical, thighs almost parallel to the floor, and then you can stay in this particular position. Right, so from here, I'll have you cross your hand the same way you did before, the first exercise if you remember, right here. I'll show you the side view and the back view as well. But first, let's understand the position. You sit nice and down here. The first movement would be to lift your hands up and then include your upper back as you look back. And then you bring your spine and elbow in. So let's take a side view here. Starting position here, and then lift the hand up first and back towards your head, and then lift open your chest. And then bring it back in. It's also very good practice for your upper back. So you lift up and then bend. And then bring it down, okay? So it's about 10 times. So I'll show you the back view. You could keep the same position on and then lift your hand up and create a back bend. And then return it back. And the same way you lift and down. And again, up and down. Last one goes up and down. And then release everything back. So we do the same on the other side as well, okay? Just a quick demo for you. Crossing like this. Let's separate your legs here and then squat. Now you may feel your legs, okay, but that's the part of the training. So, but it includes your upper back. So same position, change your hand. When you're ready, lift the hand up and then extend your back. And then return it back. That's it. 1. Breathe in. And 2. Breathe in. Right, so focus on the upper body. And definitely you're working your legs. And some of you may feel a lot on your legs. And that's why I have mentioned to you that the same exercise can be done in standing with the legs together. And release everything back. The reason we were doing with the legs out like that, because it increases the strength and mobility as well, okay? It also helps you burn these muscles, kind of activate these muscles before your play. If you're going for tennis or if you're playing golf, any of these activities that require a lot of throwing and, under or overarm movement, overhead movement of your arm, this way or this way. So, but in general itself, these are very good technique. Now, remember the second exercise I was mentioning to you earlier with your hand going backward? Now we are going to use this technique to actually clasp your hand. Now, if you don't have, the flexibility to reach all the way up here, it is important that you use a bend or maybe a towel to get as close as possible to your fingers. Now you must clasp your finger or grab the towel, something to hold on to fix your arm position. Okay? So I'm going to clasp my finger, assuming that you can do it too, or use a towel. Then we go down here. In this one, your arms are fixed, they don't move. This time you just move your spine. This is the last part and the important one. So you lift your chest up as you push your head back, and then you breathe out as you return to center. Again, you breathe in. This is for your upper back, and then release it back. 2. Again, you breathe in, opening your chest. And 3, right? So this is for about 10 times, same movement. And you start moving like this, you start creating the movement in your back. The muscles between your shoulder blade and your spine start to engage. All right, medical terms, we call them the lower trapezius, mid trapezius, rhomboids, a couple of other muscles there, and definitely your thoracic spinal muscles. Okay. And then release. Okay, that's about 10. So you can switch sides. I'm doing with you, so as you watch this video, you can do it with me, right? But eventually, you have to try and remember these techniques. It's not really difficult. Goal is to lift. See, the best way to know if you're doing it right is to feel, right? Sometimes you and I may look very different in some of these positions. So you have to try and feel. Right now, I feel between my shoulder blade and my spine. And then that's where you should feel. That's it. And maybe your groins are burning, your thighs are burning, and that's complementary, right? And then lifting up. Good. Try to build it for at least 10. You must feel your legs charged, you must feel your back is opened, and shoulders feel great. So that's all. The 2 exercises are great exercises for shoulders if you play tennis, golf, any overhead or under movement of your hand. Or in general, if you just have a neck pain, office syndrome, kind of trouble with your shoulders and just not comfortable in any of the position, you can try these positions and see how you feel. They will not give you results in 1, 2, or 3 sittings. You had to do it for consecutive 10 to 14 days to see some big change. Okay? So all the best till then, and thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.